Hi Christmas crew, my name is Shannon and I want to welcome you here to the Cozy Christmas Cottage. The holidays can be so very exciting and also a little bit overwhelming, but I'm going to share with you simple ways to decorate your Christmas tree to make that task a little bit easier. And no matter your Christmas theme, your Christmas colors, or even the size of your Christmas tree, I'm sharing with you some of my own personal tips, tricks, and secrets to decorating the perfect Christmas tree. I know by the end of this video, you're going to be decorating your Christmas trees in a whole new way, but if I miss anything or you have your own tips and tricks and secrets, I would love to hear those. Leave those down in the comments below for me. Now let's not waste any more time. Let's dash this video and share with you how to decorate the perfect Christmas tree, or this is what has worked for me for years, and I'm finally sharing those secrets with you today. So I'm showing you how to decorate a fake tree. However, if you love live trees, I love them too. This works just the same for fake and live trees. So first thing I highly recommend is to, of course, fluff your Christmas tree, make sure all the lights are working, and then lay out all of the decor that you plan to use on your Christmas tree. This will give you a chance to make sure that it all flows nicely, matches nicely before you even put it onto the tree. I know this probably goes against a lot of traditions in that I put the star on top of my tree first instead of last. So keep your tradition if you need to, but I like to work on my tree from the top down. And this is another thing, think outside the box. So I needed a pretty large star for the top of my tree. So this is actually a wall hanger, a decorative piece versus the top for a Christmas tree, but I just used some wire from Dollar Tree to wire it onto the branches of the top. So no, it may not necessarily be a traditional topper, but it looks perfect and it's great scale for this larger tree. If you have an artificial tree, but you love the smell of live trees, grab these scentsicles. I'll link them down in the description box below. You can find them on Amazon really inexpensively, and they will transform the smell of your whole house. They are pretty strong, so keep that in mind. I love it though. They are little scent sticks that hang inside your Christmas tree, so you never see them there, but I love it because it's almost like you light a candle before you ever walked into the room. Love the smell of these. They have different scents to choose from. This next step probably also goes against the grain. However, I like to put my garland on before I put anything else on my tree, except the topper first, obviously. And I do that because I like to incorporate the garland into the tree versus having it wrap and sit on top of everything. So what I do is I start at the top and I start zigzagging my way down and around my Christmas tree. Now, obviously, garlands aren't super long. Mine was maybe 12 feet long, so I needed several of these to finish this tree off. So here's a great tip. If you want to have that more seamless look, all you have to do is take your next piece of garland, kind of marry the ends together, hold it tight, and then pull it around. Basically, it's going to make like one continuous length of garland instead of separate pieces that you're putting onto the tree. Another tip that's going to save you is to actually zigzag back and forth versus actually going around and around your tree. You'll get more garland towards the front and you won't waste it in the parts that you don't see of your tree. Once you get your garland on there, go ahead and start tucking that into the branches. That's going to make it look more like it's part of the tree versus just sitting on top. Next, I love to add more greenery to my Christmas trees. Even though mine is pretty full, there are still some holes in there, and this is what is going to fill up some of those gaps and then some of those holes. So these are picks with a bunch of different berries, greeneries, even a flower and some ornaments in it from at home, very affordable. So you can see you just kind of tuck it right into the holes of the tree. You definitely want to make sure you angle them down. So the same direction that your tree branches are going, you want to insert your picks that way and kind of have them angle the same direction. So here's another look at a hole in the tree and then added with one of those picks. So I think it helps to see this tree blank and then added with just those picks, just the garland, just the topper. So if you like the minimal look, this tree is pretty just the way it is. You can kind of stop and leave it here if you'd like. However, I like to add lots to my trees, but I still like to keep it budget friendly. So we're going to add some inexpensive ornaments on here next. I have some different varieties of ball ornaments, and then I always have a statement piece like these angels that we're going to add onto the tree. If you have a statement piece ornaments, definitely start with those first before you add in all of the colored ball ornaments. So these angels are kind of larger, and I wanted to make sure that they were spaced out. So we're doing two things here. Not only are we trying to keep everything balanced, but we're also trying to cover up some of the holes that are in the tree as well. Then I worked on these white ornaments next. Since my angels were white, I also wanted to keep that balance going on with the white ornaments, so that's why I went ahead and did those next. Balance is a big thing when it comes to decorating your Christmas tree, so make sure you're always standing back, checking your spots where you need things or where you need to add a little bit of white here and there. Also, texture is a huge thing with Christmas trees, so maybe not necessarily patterns, but adding these sort of mercury glass ornaments gives a bit of shine and glitter and contrast to the tree. Here's another tip and trick. I like to actually use wire and wire some of my ornaments into my tree versus hanging them onto a traditional ornament hook. And you'll see why here just right now. So you can see the one that's wired on does not move around, whereas the one that's on string or on a hanger is going to give you movement. So you can do one or the other or both. I'm doing both ways on this tree this year. I also like that it gives you placement specifically exactly where you want it with the wire. Adding some pops of color definitely help too, and I love these hydrangeas. They already came on clips like this, but if you find flowers that you really love, you can also find these clips in the jewelry making section, craft section, floral section at your craft store, and hot glue or glue on your own flowers and make your own ornaments that way. Another tip with this is to also try to tuck these in a little bit into your tree. Don't put them on the very ends of the branches so they look incorporated. I also love to use ribbon in my Christmas trees. It just adds another element of texture to the tree, which I love, and you do not have to be a bow maker to actually use ribbon in your tree. I'm going to show you a little hack here. Using some of this ribbon from Hobby Lobby, I am making one loop, making a long tail. We're going to gather it where the center point is, take some wire that around to hold it in place, twist it. You're going to take the tail, you're going to fold it in half, cut the end at an angle. That'll give you this pretty dovetail effect. And you can also do this and add more loops if you want, depending on the look that you're going for. I used a lot of the 2 loops in this tree, and you just take that wire, kind of tuck it into your tree, find the middle of a branch, and then fluff that loop and pull your tail out, make sure it looks nice. And it looks like you made a fancy bow, but really we did a shortcut. This is what 1 loop looks like, and then this is what 2 loops look like. Just a really pretty added texture to your Christmas tree. At this point, I've added all of my elements to the Christmas tree. As I've gone through, I have stood back to make sure I have good balance. All the holes are filled. However, here is a tip and trick. Take pictures of your Christmas tree. Do it in different angles and check it out, because you will get a whole new perspective when you look at photos. You can point out any problem areas that you might have, spots that need some adjusting. I came back in and did that on mine and just kind of pulled out the garland where it was hidden, straightened up some ornaments that were crooked, filled in some holes where it needed it. And also your Christmas tree elements are going to settle over time too, so you may have to do this a couple times throughout the season just to make sure everything stays in place. I love the way this Christmas tree turned out this year. This is a brand new design for my She Shed Christmas tree. I've used this tree for about 4 years now and love it. It is from Hobby Lobby, but I will link a similar one down in the description box below, as I know these sell out pretty quickly, and I'll probably find one that's a little bit more affordable for you guys as well. But all of the elements are basically from Hobby Lobby and at home, so I hope you are able to find some of these elements. If you're creating a Christmas tree similar to this, I am loving the color. I have always done a muted kind of white, snowy, frosted winter wonderland style out in the She Shed, and this year I just needed some pops of color, and I am loving the burgundy red here and the different textures with the gold and the white angels. It all just really came together. I love the giant star at the top of the Christmas tree. That's new for me this year as well. It just brings me a lot of joy, as I'm sure your Christmas trees bring you a lot of joy in your home too. I would love to hear how you plan to do your Christmas theme this year, your colors, your theme, whether you use a live tree or a fake tree. Let me know down in the comments below. I hope that this video was inspirational for you, and if you have a friend who maybe needs some ideas for this holiday season, please share it with them. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one. Happy holidays!